Kyle, can you talk a little about your personal experience with your father?
Yeah, my personal experience with my father was very, I guess, being alive, it was very slim. He ended up leaving my mother when I was younger, came back to my life back in, say, about 2002 when I graduated from high school, and then he was in my life for about a year and he passed away. So it was kind of hard, being the fact that, I never really got to know him that much. But the experience I had with him was the fact of when I met Sam. She came over to my house and she was more in tune with like her surroundings and whatnot because I wasn't, because I just started getting into it, and it was just more of like a sad feeling, a lonely feeling in my house. And she brought up the concept of like house cleansing and what it does and what it allows for spirits and whatnot. And I was like, you know what, this is a pretty good idea. I think we should, try this out. And we slimmed it down to being like the more likely the spirit that was there at the house would be my father. So we came in and did a house cleansing, and it wasn't really working. It felt like something was still there. So Sam told me to go and sit down in the living room with the sweetgrass that we were burning, and just kind of have a couple words with my father. So I said, okay, no problem. Sam went into the other room being respectful and whatnot. And I sat down and, I was just kind of sitting there, thinking about him and telling him, just how much I missed him and whatnot. And then I told him that he's always been the best father to me. It was like this rush, like a roller coaster, you go down the free fall factor.
Yeah.
Like it was like that, just shot through my whole entire body. And then all of a sudden, like it was from my toes to the top of my head, and then all of a sudden it was calm. Like everything was calm, and it was not even 2 seconds later, Sam came out of the room that she was in and said, "Yep, it's gone." So it was crazy.
Yeah, you can feel there's a huge difference. Yeah, it's like an enlightenment, like a less oppressive thing. It definitely felt like his father's spirit, because I think there was a feeling of guilt, like I'm sorry I wasn't there for you kind of thing. And as you cross over, you kind of realize your faults and kind of like leave those behind, and maybe he felt guilty. So I definitely thought that it helped, because you have like ceremonies to do, for house cleansings, but if it's a more like intimate and personal context like this case was, or not even a case, but the situation, I thought it definitely helped doing that. I think it did the trick, because immediately you can feel it in a sense of calmness and peace.
And what was weird about it was the stuff started happening at my sister's house. So.
Really? Well, oh my goodness, I can't believe all that happened to you. Well, I'm really excited to hear more about the MPRA when we come back from these messages.
Here we go.
Foot massage. Okay.
Oh. Yeah, those never last long enough.
Great cheese comes from happy cows. Happy cows come from California. Real California cheese.
Welcome back to MSU Live. Sitting here with me, I have Samantha Harris and Kyle Gask-Wilson, two members of the Michigan Paranormal Research Association. So, Sam, what was the most convincing piece of evidence you've recovered from an investigation?
It's difficult because we have so many personal experiences, but I'm trying to also prove things to the skeptics. I want to change things, but in terms of legitimate evidence, there's a picture from when I was in 7th grade, so when I kind of started to get into this stuff, and I had no motive to lie about this stuff. I was in 7th grade. I went to a day camp. It was Camp Algonquin, and it's over by, it's like mid-northern Michigan on Burt Lake, and there's ghost stories at a camp thing, and I didn't realize until years later that people had died actually on the premises, but anyways, we were in this building, and there was a weird presence. It was one of the first times I kind of felt like something else was watching me kind of thing, and we were goofing off, and it was only us in the building. I was the only one on that side of the room taking the picture, and it's a picture of a couch, there's girls, and then there's this cork board, and we used to post like newsletters and stuff like that on it, but it's a full-blown apparition of a woman, and it's not like fake. I guess we took it to cameramen that have worked at the Here on Camera place in Dexter for over 30 years, and they couldn't explain it. It's in the negative, and it's pretty bizarre. Wow. But then of course all of a sudden ghost stories start coming out from them, so I definitely believe it's a legitimate piece of evidence, along along with some pretty convincing EVPs that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Class A EVPs, which means basically anyone can hear them, and I think we share a couple of those in the documentary.
In the documentary as well. Excited. Oh, excited to hear those. So, Kyle, what would you say was the most convincing piece of evidence that you've recovered from an investigation?
Some of the evidence that we had, we actually, for the first investigation that we had at the Holiday Hotel, we actually had a ball of light called a light anomaly shoot out from the ground, go past two people in front of someone's face, and let alone, and then shot up and disappeared into the ceiling, which was pretty convincing. EVPs always, there are some ones. There was one, a little girl said he took my hand into the fire. That was just clear, very clear.
That's creepy.
Yeah, creepy. And then,
Wow.
and also just a personal experience too with the voices, the investigation that we did for searching at the Holiday Hotel. I had a voice come next, it felt like it was right here next to my face saying, "Get out" or "Get out now." And then the other one that said, what was it?
I know you.
Yeah, I know you, which was kind of convincing because we were there, for the first investigation. So, and that kind of, give me the willies, I guess.
I would too. If somebody said, "I know you," that would kind of creep me out. Well, the two of you, along with MPRA and Starlight Productions, have a new documentary out entitled Searching. We happen to have a preview of it. Let's take a look.
The Holiday Hotel is notoriously known as one of the most haunted places in the nation, so we're really excited for our second investigation.
This building has so much history in it. It burned down once, and then 65 years after it burned down again. Within the day, within the same hour that it burnt down 65 years ago.
Make a loud noise for us. Okay, so you can do it. Will you do it?
Oh, you're right here. Yeah. Totally right here. Right in this seat with me now, aren't you? We know you're here, but we want more proof.
I've actually seen this movie, and it was really pretty creepy. So Sam, can you tell me more about the Holiday Hotel and your findings there?
Yeah, what's significant about the Holiday Hotel is it's had two really horrible fires, and what was weird is that they happened within 60 or 65 years apart from each other, but then same month, same day, within the minutes, and they happened for no reason. They still couldn't figure out why the fire started, so they thought it was maybe kind of cursed,
Yeah.
And what was creepy in relation to that is that we have that EVP of that little girl saying, "He took my hand right here in the fire," and originally I thought maybe she had asthma, adenoids, which is weird because it's a ghost. Maybe they don't have health issues, but maybe they do. I
Maybe
don't know.
they do. You don't know.
And but then I was thinking about it, and most people die in the fires from smoke inhalation, and asphyxiation. So I wondered if maybe that was it. And it's a really clogged sounding, and it's a little girl too. And it's sad when children die, obviously. But it was just giving me the willies. That was one of the EVPs that actually gave me chills, just because it was sad, but it was also just eerie that it really did make a connection with the fire. So in my opinion,
that happened. Mm-hmm. Well, this has been very interesting, but unfortunately, we are out of time. I'd like to thank my guest, Samantha Harris.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you, and also Kyle Gask-Wilson of the Michigan Paranormal Research Association for coming out. Thanks for watching MSU Live, and see you next week.
This has been a TC 342 presentation of MSU Live in association with Starlight Productions.